Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be going over Let's Make Big Moves 2023, the first of the two majors that we're going to be covering this weekend. This tournament is one of the most stacked tournaments I've seen in a very long time, at least for like an open major. We have Spargo as the first seed, Tweak as second, MKLeo as third, Light as fourth, Glutonny and Onan as fifth, Sonics and Riddles as seventh. Ninth place is Cola, Meister, DeBuzz, and Cosmos, and 13th is Anathema, Apollo Kage, Jackal, and Zomba. Now, there are four ways to get into top 16, and we're going to be starting with Leo's side of the bracket, where he has to fight Apollo Kage, Fatality, and Atomic. He should be able to win all of those matchups. The hardest one is probably going to be Apollo Kage, but also Leo is incredible against Snake, but a counterpoint is Apollo Kage always seems to get at least one upset within the bracket, so hey, maybe he beats Leo. I don't know. He's been kind of cruising lately, but that is going to be a tough match for Apollo Kage for sure. I'm sure he can make it a run in losers, though, even though I'm surprised he's not seeded for ninth place over Cosmos, just considering his main stage run. But that is, again, just one tournament, and Cosmos is a player that is very hard to seed. I don't know where to. I wouldn't even know where I would seed in this tournament because he is like very, very good. He honestly could be Onan, and he might be playing core in this tournament as well, which is something to note. Like, his core is obviously very good. I don't know if he's ever fully committed with it in an offline tournament. I know he used it a decent amount online, but I think we're going to see the core at least a little. It might still be mainly ages because he's not super comfortable with it yet, but that's going to be interesting for sure. And then I think he could beat Onan, but it's going to be tough because Onan's very good, and he would have had to have beaten Shattuck before, so the matchup there is also going to be interesting. Now, looking at the loser side of it, Cosmos over Syrup, they have kind of a history, which is like just basically Syrup beating Cosmos, so we're going to see who takes that. Maybe Cosmos gets the run back because he has struggled with Ness a decent amount on Aegis, but again, we might see the Corrin. And then Net Apollo Kage, I'm not actually sure their history. I'll check that right now. So Apollo Kage has actually won that matchup the last four times they played. Granted, nothing is impossible, but probably Apollo Kage will take that. And then the biggest upsets of this group would probably be either Shattuck or Syrup, honestly. They just have players with a lot of potential. Syrup and Apollo Kage is going to be tough because I think Apollo Kage is actually very good against Snake, but also that is a tough matchup for Snake, at least in my opinion. And then Shattuck does have to go through Onan, but if he does go through Onan, he has a very high chance of beating Cosmos, considering like he is up on him lifetime. I think he's beat him twice now, which is pretty insane. So I think Shattuck, if I had to pick only one person, would be the person that I expect to overperform their seed, at least within this group. Part of the bracket we're going to cover is the Light and Glutonny side. We have Light versus Zomba, Kronos, and Psychod, and Glutonny versus Meister, Puppet, and Mystery. And I think Gluto has a very high chance of being upset just because he has to play against either Meister or Tilde. Tilde did beat him the last time they played at Smash World Tour, which was like over a year ago, granted, but like maybe he gets the run back, maybe he still has that dog in him. And then Meister, Wario versus Game & Watch is an abhorrent matchup. And I know Mia was able to, or like Glutonny was able to beat Mia at Scuff World Tour, but Meister usually beats Gluto when they play, and I would be surprised if it went any other way here. I think Meister could have an incredible run this tournament. I think the bracket is very, very good for him. Not that Gluto can't overcome it, because like we've seen him overcome literally every challenge in his way. He overcame Leo, he overcame Bloom. Meister might be next on the stepping stone, but it's going to be something that I think we're going to have to wait and see, because it's going to be very, very good. And in the Light side of bracket, we have Light versus Zomba, which is also an incredible story. You have Zomba like beating Light the last time they played and getting a set on him at Shine. So I don't actually know who's going to take that. I would probably still favor Light, just like it is still Fox Rob, which actually isn't maybe as bad as I'm thinking in my head. It might be more closer to even, but I just think Light should take it if he's playing in that peak form that we've seen him play at towards the start and middle of the year. I hope he's playing well this tournament because he also has to play against Kronos, and Kronos is a player that just if he went to more events would probably be top 30 in the world right now because Kronos is unreal. Some other players that could cause some big noise here are Leon, Jen, Wadi, I think I already mentioned him. They're like all incredible. And then on the loser side of it, we have Meister Lima, which is, I don't think they've played since Lost Tech City, where they both took a set, though Meister did take the most recent one. And we have Zomba Tilde, which I'm going to check the history of. So Tilde does have that record 10-15, and the only time they've played at a major, Tilde did take it. So there's honestly a chance that Tilde could make it to day 3 or 2, however they're doing the tournament, into that top 16 part of the bracket, because Tilde has some pretty favorable matchups. I don't know if he can upset Meister, but if he can, he has a good matchup versus Gluto, and he has a good matchup versus Zomba. So Tilde, I think, could make a run in this tournament. Up next is the Spargo Sonics poll. We have Spargo versus Jackal, Dark Wizzy, and Peanut, and Sonics versus Cola, Jazzo, and Haven. Now, Spargo doesn't look like a first seed here because he has to play Jackal, Wizzy, and Peanut. The Peanut one is going to be a very good set because it's either Peanut does something crazy or we get to see Little Mac being bullied, which I am always here for because I don't like that character. But this is going to be an interesting set for sure. Spargo Wizzy's a player like that just plays at such a weird tempo that I feel like might be very good against Spargo. And also, like, Wizzy, again, is one of those players that can just explode at any moment. We saw him do it at Big House. We haven't quite seen it then, but also I don't think he's been to a ton of tournaments since Big House. I think he took a little bit of a break, which is, like, deserved because he had been hella traveling. But I hope we can see that because that could be a hot set, and Spargo Jackal will be a hot set because Jackal is just a player that is on an incredible rise right now, assuming he gets there, because he has to play Jake, who I think he has a pretty decent chance against. But Quick is good. I think Quick is severely underseeded for this tournament as well. Granted, he hasn't had a lot of amazing results recently, but I think he got 9th or 7th at the last like big moves. So I think Quick could cause an upset there, but also just like it's hard to bet against Jackal because he is so good. Sorry for the mic bump there. Then we have on this side Sonics versus Cola, Sonics Jazzo, and Sonics Haven. He should beat Haven. Jazzo he should beat as well. And Cola is tough because Cola is just like such a quick player. He's like one of the few players in the world that can actually like pace Sonics because Sonics just plays at like such a fast, slow style, if that makes sense. Like he is so quick at staying outside of your bubble, it's hard to catch him. But Cole is one of the few players that actually can consistently. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. And that is, again, he has to play Quinn and MK Big Boss, which I think he does. He should be able to beat, assuming MK Big Boss honestly gets there, because Chunky Kong has been making mad upsets recently. So, like, if I had to predict any upsets from here, it would probably be Jackal Quick or Spargo Peanut for the culture, but probably Jackal Quick. And then looking on the loser side, we have Cola versus Jake. We should have Cola taking that. He is very good at the Steve matchup. And Jackal versus MK Big Boss. Wolf Rob seems tough, but also Rob's just like Rob's a character that like they don't really have losing matchups because they can just kill you at 0 at any point. I do think Jackal probably takes that, and then again, I do think Jackal would take it over Jazzo as well, and I could see Jazzo honestly upsetting MK Big Boss because Jazzo is a player with just like such an insane amount of potential that he could do anything. Honestly, I think this is probably what it's going to look like, though. This is like, out of all the pools, this is probably the one where I expect to see the least amount of upsets. The biggest one is, like, again, Jackal Quick or maybe Cola over Sonics. But the last and definitely not least pool that we're going to be covering is the Tweak and Riddles pool. We have Riddles versus DeBuzz, Chag, and Suarez, and Tweak versus Anathema, Peebnut, and Squid Plumber. Squid Plumber is a player that has been making waves recently, honestly. Like, he is very good. And also we have T3 Dom on the other side. So there is a world where we have T3 Dom versus Squid Plumber. It probably won't happen because Squid Plumber has to beat Tweak, but it's not impossible. And honestly, Dom might be able to upset Peebnut, but Peebnut's like very, very good. And then Tweak should be able to beat Dom if he beats Squid Plumber, and then Peebnut as well. I feel like Tweak's actually pretty decent against Mega Man, and I think his character lineup also does good against Mega Man. And Tweak versus Anathema, I mean, Tweak is just one of those players that I feel like dismantles Rob, but that's not the most exciting thing. The most exciting thing is Quid. Quid hasn't been in a major since Collision, and I think it was February or March. I forget when Collision was. But the point is, it's been a while, and he is the Let's Make Big Moves 2022 champ. So, this is crazy. I don't really know what to think about Quid this tournament. Could he upset Anathema? Sorry for the ad, by the way. Could he upset Anathema? Yes, absolutely. Quid is crazy. He is so, so good. Could he lose to Anathema or Chase, honestly, because Chase has been making runs? Yes. I don't know how in practice Quid is. I think if Quid was consistently going to tournaments, he'd already be top 10 now. But Quid could make some crazy, crazy upsets this tournament. And the other side of bracket is still pretty insane. We have Riddles to Buzz, which is always a great matchup, like the two Liquid Boys brawling it out. I honestly don't know who's going to take that. I'd probably favor Riddles just like based off how they've both been doing recently, but also like Riddles has been getting more reps in, so it makes more sense that he's kind of been doing better because they're both just like insane players. And then Riddles versus Chag. Riddles Chag, I think he does take that. I just think Riddles is so good. It's really hard to bet against him. DeBuzz Doorstop, I think DeBuzz will probably take that. DeBuzz Goblin. Goblin is, again, if Goblin is playing at like 100% Goblin mode, then he might be able to take it. Even though, like, because Goblin's like slow patient style is like just really, really good, honestly. But I don't know if it would work super well against DeBuzz, because that's kind of just DeBuzz, like, all the time. Like, DeBuzz is just, like, super slow, super methodical, and when Goblin is playing like that, he's very strong. But DeBuzz might be able to out-methodical him. We're going to have to see how that turns out. And then on the loser side of the bracket, we have DeBuzz versus Quid and Anathema Goblin. I do think Anathema probably takes it over Goblin. Then again, DeBuzz Quid, I don't know. I have no idea who wins that. It's like, it is so hard to pick. I don't actually know if they've ever played. I'm going to check that really quick. So Dabuz and Quid have actually never played, so you know that is going to be a banger. People that could make upsets in this group, I mean, come on. I feel like you already know who it is. It's Quid, of course. It's Quid. But other people that could make upsets. I mean, Yanni could pop off at any moment. T3 Dom is very good. He could go crazy. Within the loser side, Waidu very good. Steve, Bobby Wasabi, he's the goat. There's like a lot. This is like such a stacked side of the bracket. I honestly don't know. But if I had to pick one, it's Quid. Come on, we knew it was gonna be Quid from the start. Now that we've talked about everything leading up to that top 16 area, we can finally get to the juicy parts of the bracket, that top 16, and we're going to be using this Google Sheet made by iCookie Monsters. Their link will be in the description as always, because this list is just it's just super helpful. It's just like such a great visual. And if you also want to make your own kind of like list top 16, then there will also be a link to a copy of the Google Sheet. If you want to make it, please go ahead. It's just very cool. But we're going to be starting with losers because we've kind of already talked about the winners matches and how I thought they'd go. And we're going to start with Zomba versus Cola. I think Zomba probably does lose that just because Cola's beaten him the last 2 times they played. Though it's not impossible, Zomba has beaten Cola before. Just like if we're going by how record is, then Cola probably does take that. Glutonny over Jackal is probably what I'm going to choose. I just think Gluto, like, he has a very good wolf himself. And I don't know how much experience Jackal actually has against Wario. I'll be sure to check that after this like little clip. But I do think Glutonny probably does take that. I also think Gluto has a decent amount of practice versus Orion as well, which, like, that always helps. Apollo Kage to Buzz. I want to pick Apollo Kage because he always gets his upset, but also, like, DeBuzz is very good against Snake. Like, I don't see DeBuzz losing to Snake basically ever. But then again, I don't know. I didn't see Snake losing to Ice Climbers at main stage, and it happened. So nothing is impossible. And then we have Q&A, which is Quid or Anathema. I couldn't choose one star for the ad, and I'm a little bit cheating here. But I think if Cosmos is playing Corrin, and his Corrin is, like, super polished, maybe we'll see it. But if I think I do have to pick Quid and Anathema. Honestly, both of them. I just think they're both very good players. Probably more favor of Quid over Anathema, by the way. I just want to give a mention to Anathema because, like, I don't want him to be the only player within the top 16 I didn't mention because he definitely deserves to be mentioned because he's crazy. But I think either Quid and Anathema could both be Cosmos. But again, I feel like it is more up to how is Cosmos playing, because if Cosmos is, like, farming, then he's probably not even going to be in losers to begin with, because when Cosmos plays good, oh man. Now, moving to the winner's side, our first matchup is Spargo versus Sonics, and Spargo should win that. I would be shocked if he did not win that. Maybe Sonics has figured something out, but Spargo's just, like, really good. Light Meister is tough, because I do have Meister over Glutonny, by the way. Light Meister is very hard to choose, because, Light can and usually does overcome these matchups, but it's still a very hard matchup for Meister, or for Light, and Meister's also just, like, very good at it. So, I don't know who's going to win this one. I think if Light is playing, like, very well, he should be able to take it. But I think this could be a very close set. I mean, whenever Light and Meister play, it's usually pretty close, and their sets are bangers. Tweak versus Riddles. I think Tweak probably does win that. I just think Tweak's been on such a tear recently, it's very hard to bet against him. And then Leo Onan, I mean, we saw what he did to Aquila. Leo's finally good as get his run back, which is always nice, but, come on, we saw what he did to Aquila. Also, something I failed to mention at the start of the video, Leo is the 3rd seed. And last time he was 3rd seed, I mean, we don't talk about that incident, but it could be a destruction of a bracket path here. On the loser side, I do think we have Cola over Onan. I just think Cola is so good at the Steve matchup. Riddles Gluto, I think it's probably Riddles. Looking at their Scuff World Tour set, Riddles is just very good. And then Glutonny does struggle a bit against FGC. It does matter not as much as Kazuya, because, like, his thing is, like, he can't really SDI as much, or he can't, like, DI because of his, like, I think it's arthritis or something, which really sucks. And Kazuya as a character, you do need that for 8-bit, not as much as other FGCs, but it is still a factor. And then also, like, Kazuya just does very well against Wario. It's like, he's like Wario if he always had Waft. Meister to Buzz, I think DeBuzz does really well in this matchup. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, so overall, Meister is 7-1 versus DeBuzz in offline sets, which is kind of crazy. So I am going to get DeBuzz for this one. I think he's probably got it, unless Meister has something miraculous. Maybe the Sora puts in some work. And then Sonics over Quid and Anathema. I think Sonics might struggle more against Quid, but I'd still probably bet Sonics, as much as it hurts my heart, because both Anathema and Quid are very good players, and also Quid games. I think Sonics just so incredible. He's unreal, and we haven't seen a lot from Quid recently. And then Anathema as well. Rob Sonic is just like a really hard matchup. Not impossible because both the players are incredible, but I am going to get Sonics for this one. Cola and Riddles is a matchup that could honestly go either way, and I don't actually know. Hold on, let me think about this. So in 2022 is 3-1 Riddles' favor, but Cola did win the last time they played. Though I think Riddles will. I just have a feeling in my gut that Riddles is going to be playing very well this tournament. Even though I do have him losing to Tweak, I feel like he's mad about how he played the last two tournaments. He dropped some combos versus Leo when he shouldn't have. He could have beat Leo. Same thing honestly at Let's Make Moves Miami. I think Riddles is going to go crazy this tournament, so I'm going to pick him over Cola. And then Debuzz Sonics. I mean, I think DeBuzz could make a run here. He's very, very good against Sonics. I think he's beaten him the last either two times they played. Definitely the last time they played at Double Down. And I think DeBuzz he's a very, very good shot to make like a pretty decent sizable losers run here. The matchups, like the way at least I'm putting them, are looking pretty good for him. Also, before I get to mention, the last time DeBuzz and Sonics played was at Smash Factory, but DeBuzz did win, so he is against 2-0 against Sonics the last two times they played. So I still think he's going to win that. Spargo versus Light. I feel like Spargo has such an insane amount of momentum right now that it's going to be very hard to beat. And also, like, he's had his Lights record for like a little bit now. Granted, they haven't played in a pretty long time. Actually, no, they played at main stage, and Spargo was just like outpacing Light incredibly. So I think Spargo probably takes it. It's not going to be a free win for sure. Maybe Light has like gotten back in the footing that he was like in again towards that middle of the year where he was absolutely farming in contention for best in the world. I think Light could take it, but I'm still going to give it to Spargo. And then Tweak Leo. Tweak Leo is going to be interesting. The most interesting of interestings. Because I think that this is going to be the set where we see Joker just because of how good Diddy is against all of Leo's other characters. Diddy is incredible versus Byleth. I think Diddy's very good against Aegis. I think Diddy and Joker is a way more favorable matchup. And I think if Leo wants to win this tournament very bad, we could see the Joker here. Because I do think if Leo loses this tournament to Spargo, like if Spargo beats Leo twice or even once, I could see people saying Spargo is the best in the world. He's definitely now in contention for the title. He's been in that contention for the title a little bit again. Like, you know, he did win Skip World Tour over Leo. He did win Main Stage. Granted, that's one tournament over someone, but it is something to consider. I think we could see the Leo Joker. I think if we see the Joker, it's probably going to go Leo. I think if we don't see the Joker, though, it 100% goes to Tweak. I think he does beat the Byleth. Again, not impossible. It feels like I'm counting the Byleth out here. I'm not. He could make that comeback or, like, get that set win because, like, you know, it's still Leo. He can win at any second now. But I would probably say that Tweak has the favor in that, just considering he's probably going to play Byleth. But those are just some factors I wanted to mention. But I will be picking Tweak. Now, on the loser side, we have Light versus Riddles, which, again, I think Riddles is going to be playing with a passion for this tournament, so I think he could take it over Light. But also, Light could be on fire. It really depends, like, which of these players is carrying momentum. Obviously, that's, like, kind of the thing in most sets, but I think it's going to be, like, the most sway set of this top 8. It's, like, Light Riddles. This could go either way. Leo to Buzz, it could be either way, honestly. I'm just going to guess Leo because I'm not super sure, but anyone could win that set, honestly. Maybe, hey, DeBuzz has done it before. He beat Cosmos, who had a big demon against him. Maybe this is the tournament where Leo bites the dust. DeBuzz finally gets the win again. Probably not, but maybe. Nothing is impossible, especially when you have DeBuzz on your side. Riddles versus Leo. Riddles should have beat Leo at the Scuff World Tour. He should have beat Leo 100%. That Marth it shouldn't win another set. So, against everything in my bones, I'm going to guess Riddles because he should have beat Leo at the Scuff World Tour. He should have he did beat the Byleth. Maybe we see the Joker. This is also a set where we could see the Joker. And then I have no idea. Like Leo Tweak, Joker Tweak, I think Leo wins it. There's two times, by the way. I think if Leo goes mainly Joker this event, he's probably going to win. Just honestly against Tweak, if he goes Joker against Tweak, I think he probably wins the event. If he doesn't, then I think he does get 4th place. Just two things I wanted to mention because I feel like giving Leo 4th place, he's seated for 3rd, which is like incredibly low for Leo, and then I'm giving him 4th, which feels low, but hey, it wouldn't be much fun if we just like predicted what we actually thought was going to happen. So we're going to spice it up. We're going to have Riddles over Leo because he should have won at Scuff World Tour. He's going to get his revenge. Spargo Tweak. Spargo's been looking very good against Tweak recently, like very, very good. And then Tweak Riddles, I mean, Tweak gets the run back. I feel like Tweak's very good. We have Spargo Tweak in the grands. And then I'll say Tweak gets the reset just because, but I think Spargo does win the tournament. I do think that the top 2 seats in Spargo Tweak are fine. I think, honestly, if Leo was on this side of the bracket, he'd probably win the tournament because I think once Leo gets into winners, you can't really stop him. And I can't stress this enough. I'll say it the last time. I think if Leo plays Joker, on only this set. He only needs it for. I mean, he doesn't need it. He's probably still going to win the tournament realistically without the Joker. But I think if he plays Leo plays Joker on this set, he probably wins the tournament. But if he doesn't, then this is going to be what my prediction looks like. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this video was a little longer, but I wanted to go everyone. And I didn't even get to mention all the amazing players here because, hey, it's a super major. There's a bunch of insane talent. If there's a player that you want to see mentioned, please let me know down below. Be sure to give them a shout out. Thank you guys for support. It means the absolute world to me lately. This channel's been doing so well. I can't thank you guys enough. And let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to sub, all that yada yada. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.